Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to start off by saying I am aware of how crazy I look. Okay, my hair is a hot mess. I'm wearing cheetah print. I thought that it would be actually really fitting to come on camera looking crazy because, as you can tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be talking about Netflix's docu-series called Tiger King. If you don't know what Tiger King is about, and if you don't, where have you been? Because I feel like everybody's talking about it right now. But if you don't know what it's about, basically it's about this guy named Joe Exotic who runs this zoo filled with hundreds and hundreds of wild animals, mainly big cats. So that's why I was like, let's wear cheetah print because it'll be quirky. I don't know. But yeah, so I thought that I would show you guys how I did this eyeshadow look, which is inspired by him and his life and his zoo and all the crazy stuff that ensues. Just in case you guys were confused, this is not the finished look. I know usually I come on with the finished look, but I thought I would spice it up a little bit today. As for my hair, listen, it's quarantine time. Everybody is DIYing everything, and so that explains my hair. I know it doesn't look great, but it's okay. Okay, so really quickly before we start the tutorial, I just wanted to show you guys what the look looks like because I realized that before I show you guys the final look, it just looks like a hot freaking mess. I know you have to trust the process, but sometimes it's kind of hard to do, and I feel like some of you guys might not watch the video because it looks like a hot mess before the final product is done. This is what the look ends up looking like. I like it a lot, but yeah, let's get started on the actual video. So this eye is already primed. I used some Tarte Shape Tape and I set it with a very little bit of powder just to make sure it's nice and smooth. This whole look is meant to represent Joe Exotic and his life. So as I go through the specific colors, I'm going to let you guys know why I chose each color. To begin, I'm going to take this shade that is right in the middle of the Jaclyn Hill x Morphe palette, and this shade is called Roxanne. So I'm going to start off with that color and put it in the crease. And now we can actually talk about the show. I have so many thoughts, like so many thoughts. Before you guys watch the rest of this video, if you have seen Tiger King, please leave in the comments below if you think that Carole Baskin killed her husband. Okay, just right now, just leave in the comments, do you think that Carole killed her husband? If you said anything except for yes, I hate to break it to you, but I think you're wrong. I have no doubt in my mind that Carole killed her husband. All of the evidence is there. The first time that we were introduced to Carole, I actually kind of liked her because the way that they presented her was just like this angel who only cares about cats and she wants them to live their best life, all of that stuff. But then the more that we got into the series, I realized she's kind of a huge hypocrite. She was attacking Joe for doing the exact same things that she ended up doing later on in the series. So like that just made no sense to me. But anyways, once they started digging into the whole plot of her husband disappearing and then her claiming the money, like, so how it works, 5 years after her husband was declared missing, that's when you can like claim the money and declare him dead. Something like that. And apparently Carole Baskin claimed the money exactly 5 years and 1 day after he was declared missing. Tell me she was not waiting for that day. She probably had that day marked in her calendar and was just waiting to claim the money. Okay, so next up I'm going to take this shade, which is called Hunt, and I'm going to put that a little bit higher than the shade that we just used. As I was saying, Carole Baskin, she's definitely guilty. I do not have a doubt in my mind. If any of you guys feel that she's not guilty, let me know in the comments and I would love to hear your rationale, but good luck. Good luck convincing me. One thing that me and I feel like a lot of other viewers found really weird, at least from what I could tell online, was the way that Carole was like, in one of the interviews, she was like,
everybody knows if you want a big cat to eat someone, you have to cover them in sardine oil.
I was looking into like the camera as if I was on The Office, and I was like, but how does she know that? I guess after years of working with cats, yeah, I guess you would know that. Did anyone else find that really weird? And the way that she said it, I was like, girl. I feel like everything she said concerning her husband's disappearance was just very self-incriminating. And also every time she was talking about his disappearance, she kind of like giggled or like smirked a little bit. And that was really, really off-putting. Next up, we are gonna go into the Conspiracy palette, which I have not touched since my last video using this. Blame it on the quarantine, okay? So I'm gonna take this orange shade. This shade is called Cheese Dust, and I'm just gonna dust cheese dust over the shades that I just used. So another thing that was really interesting to me about Carol and her husband's disappearance was when she was very adamant on the fact that, I think they were talking about turkeys, about how tigers can like digest full turkeys, and like when they poop or whatever, like there's no bones. They just digest everything. Now, I don't know a lot about cats, but I think it is very possible for a whole grown tiger to eat a grown man and there would be no evidence of it. I just feel like that's very possible. It sounded like even Carol was suggesting that that is very possible. So I'm gonna digress before I talk about Carol for the whole video, but she's guilty. I feel like I haven't even talked about Joe yet, and he is the star of the show. What do you guys think about Joe? I kind of have sympathy for him, and I don't know why. Like, I know he is just as psychotic as Carol, but for some reason I have sympathy for him. I think it's the way that they just portrayed his life, but for some reason I ended up feeling kind of bad for him. I actually kind of liked his music. Like, okay, the first couple of times they showed his country music, if you guys don't know. So not only was Joe Exotic the owner of a zoo, okay, he was a magician, he's a musician, he was like a storm chaser, is that what they're called? He has done it all. And I have to say, that's kind of impressive. Okay, so before continuing on about Joe, I'm quickly going to take this yellow shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette. This shade is called Creamsicle. Okay, so as I was saying, honestly, I kind of vibe with Joe's music. Like, the first couple of songs I heard from him, I was like, what the heck is this? But then the more they played it, I was like, okay, Joe. I was watching more videos about the show. Somebody was saying that Joe actually doesn't sing the songs, he just lip syncs to them and makes the videos, which honestly I don't find hard to believe, because when you look at him, he doesn't exactly look like he would have the voice of an angel per se. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't sing his own songs. Oh, one thing that kept me laughing and laughing and laughing throughout all of the episode was his eyebrow piercing. His eyebrow piercing was not on his eyebrow. His piercing was like on his eyelids, like really close to his actual eye, and it was killing me. That piercing was hanging on for dear life. Oh boy, okay. Let me shut up and actually do some makeup. Okay, so this always happens when I sit down to film, but this eye has gone a little higher up than this eye. So I'm gonna quickly go back with that orange shade I used and just blend it a little more on this side. So this shape where I have all the green laid down, I'm gonna go ahead and create that with some concealer. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to do this on camera, but we're gonna try. So for this step, I'm gonna go ahead and use the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. I really like this underneath eyeshadow. I don't like it under the eyes. I don't think it looks great on the face. We'll see what happens. So one of the biggest tips I can give if you are doing this is to start off slow, because it's very easy to add more concealer, but it's very hard to take it away. I don't know why I'm having like performance anxiety right now. So I'm gonna go off camera very quickly and create the shape, and then I will be right back. I apologize, I just really, anything that involves being precise, I cannot do it on camera. Like I have to go in my room and be like this close to my mirror to actually make sure it turns out okay. But as you can see, the shape is pretty basic. It's kind of just like a regular cut crease and then just extended a tiny bit. So now we're gonna go ahead and play with the green colors. So the reason why I put some green on here, okay, is to represent the foliage of his zoo. What is it called? GW Zoo? GW Zoo. So the green is to represent the trees and the grass. But also, is it alligators or crocodiles? I think it was alligators that burned when somebody, okay, apparently we don't know who, when somebody burned down the studio where Joe was recording his reality show. Somebody. I mean, I have some suspicions on who it was, but somebody burned down that recording studio, and there were alligators, I think, in the same building or like beside the building. Those alligators also burned and died, so this is like a little shout out to them. The first green that I'm gonna take in the inner portion of my eyes, this is from Milani. You can see mine is kind of messed up. It's broken in half, and I've been trying my best to keep it from totally falling apart. This is from Milani, and this is the color Bella Khaki. It is Bella Eyes Gel Powder Eyeshadow. So I'm gonna open this. Oh yeah, you can see like she's broken in half. So I'm gonna place that back in the compact. I'm gonna take some on this brush and just apply that to the inner corners of my eyes. While we're here, I want to talk about Saf. Apparently Saf was misgendered throughout the whole series. He actually identifies as a male, and in the whole series he was called she. I hope that makes sense. So in this video I'm going to be referring to him as he, just in case you were confused. Can you imagine having your arm ripped off, okay, ripped off, and coming back to work 5 days later? I am sincerely hoping that my managers never watch this documentary because I look like a shit employee compared to Saf. Like he is so loyal to his job. There are some conspiracy theories going around saying that Joe actually paid him to like not press charges or whatever, and that Joe actually paid him to return to work like as soon as possible. I cannot confirm nor deny any of that. I don't know, it's all speculation. But regardless, I have mad respect for Saf. Mad respect. I think he is the only person in the whole show who isn't inherently evil. Like just a little bit. I feel like everybody in that show is kind of a villain except for Saf. But let me know if you guys agree or disagree. But I just think that Saf is so cool because you can tell that he genuinely enjoyed his job there. Apparently he's not working there anymore. I don't blame him, but he just really enjoyed his job and was genuinely there for the animals, and I don't know, I respect that a lot. So on top of that light green, I'm gonna go in with a shade from the Conspiracy palette. This shade is called Conspiracy. How fitting is that? So I'm gonna take that on the same brush and go a little more inner. Ooh, that is pretty. That's very pretty. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with a more medium type of green. This green is also from Milani. This is the shade Bella Emerald. Also ignore my nails. Like I told you guys, every time I want to film, it just so happens to be on a day where I don't have my nails done. It is what it is. It is what it is. Also, I'm on TikTok. Shameless plug, but I am on TikTok. If you guys want to follow me on there, my name is just Arifa Back. I can't open this. Okay, so this is what this green looks like. It is so pretty, and I also just realized I should probably zoom you guys in a little more. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so same drill as before. I'm going to go in with the same brush and pick up some of that color. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that in the middle to outer portion of my eyes. Also, I want to take a second and shout out people who I feel like are not getting the recognition that they deserve in this series, and that is the producers slash editors. I don't know who is responsible for this, but just the way that the series was put together, the order in which we received information was so good. But you guys know me, I love writing. I used to write stories all the time, so I really appreciate when a story is well told. I just feel like the story of Joe Exotic was so well told in this series. Like the way that it was put together, it was like beautiful. Like I don't know, I really appreciate that. So shout out to the directors slash producers slash editors. It was just really good. Oh, but also on that note, can we talk about, I don't remember his name, but that guy who was interviewed in his bathtub? What was that? Who approved that idea? I just want to talk. I just want to talk. Okay, so I'm gonna go almost all the way out, but not quite, because we do still have one color left. Like always, I'm gonna take my tiny brush. You guys know I love this brush for doing little details and creating sharp lines. I'm going to just sharpen that line on top a tiny bit. Also, you guys can see there is a lot of fallout under my eyes, so if you are going to do a look like this, definitely do your eyes first. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into the Conspiracy palette, and I'm going to take this shade, which is called Illuminati, like tea, like, you know, tea. And I'm going to go ahead and place that on the outer portion right here. Okay, let's see what we can do. Oh, my hair is annoying me. Recently, I did trim my hair myself. I cut off like maybe 4 inches. But I want to chop it shorter. Like maybe it's this quarantine, but I really want to chop my hair like right above my shoulders. But at the same time, every time I cut my hair short, I hate it. But before doing it, I'm like, that is the best idea. Like, if I do that now, especially how my hair, I do have the 2 front pieces that are blonde. I feel like if I do that, I'm gonna look like Joe Exotic. Speaking of looking crazy, just so you guys know, this Halloween, if all of this stuff is over by Halloween, I mean, hopefully it is, I'm going as Carole Baskin. I am going as Carole Baskin, mark my words. I'm gonna wear the same dress. Okay, look at this dress. I'm going as Carole Baskin and you can't stop me. If anyone wants to dress up as Joe, let me know because we can do a partner's costume. And I know this looks like very messy right now. Once I go in with foundation and concealer, it's gonna all be cleaned up. I look psychotic. Oh my god. Can you imagine if Joe Exotic was a beauty guru? Like, what would his tutorials be? I'm like genuinely curious. Somebody on YouTube, I'm giving you this idea. Please, please go create a Joe Exotic beauty tutorial. So I'm going to go off camera, finish up the rest of my face, and when I come back we can deal with the lower lash line and finish up talking about this show. Okay guys, so I am back like 2 hours later and this is the finished look. So underneath my eyes, basically I just used the same colors that we used in the crease and I just repeated them under my eyes. So you can see I have some yellow, some orange, and some of that darker orange just on the outer corner. As for the rest of my face, I will leave all the products in the description if you are curious. I decided to try a bit of an orange lip and I can't lie, I'm kind of feeling it, so excuse me if my confidence is like up here right now, even though I look kind of crazy. Okay, the lipstick is a little bit drying, but overall, I'm actually kind of in love with this look. Believe me when I say I am fully aware of how crazy I look, but it's kind of a vibe. Carole Baskin, I'm coming for your brand. Just kidding. Just kidding. Also on the inner corners, I went with a bright gold color, and that is just like a little shout out to Joe Exotic's eyebrow ring. I saw this meme and it was like how regular people see the world and then how Joe Exotic sees the world. If I can find it, I will insert it right here. That cracked me up. I was laughing so hard. Anyways, yeah, that is pretty much it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on the show. I think it is a masterpiece, honestly. I just think it is so good. It is so well put together. It is... Joe was such a good subject for it. The people who made this documentary, they really nailed it. Like, they knew what they were doing. Especially for Netflix to release this during quarantine, they knew what they were doing. Because who doesn't want to watch a documentary about a gay man with 3 husbands, who's a redneck, who has tigers, who's trying to kill this woman? It's wild. It's completely wild from start to finish. So if you have not seen the documentary yet, definitely go check it out. Yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. As always, thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys next time. Bye!